The smell of frying bacon and fresh coffee hit John Cephas before he rounded the corner. The Capital City Gazette's offices might have been his workplace, but the best part of his mornings came from the bright yellow food truck parked just outside. "Plain bagel," he said, already fishing cash from his wallet. Keelani Jones cocked an eyebrow at him from behind the counter window. Her braids were wrapped up in a red scarf, her brown eyes gleaming with mischief. "Plain bagel again? You know there's a whole menu here, right? Pancake wraps, shrimp and grits bowls, even my mama's sweet potato biscuits." "Plain bagel." He dropped the money on the counter. "You're killing me, Cephas." She slid the bagel into a brown paper sack. "One day you're going to cave. And when you do, you'll realize what you've been missing." "Maybe tomorrow," he said, the same answer he always gave, even though they both knew it was a lie. He had tried her food before, spicy shrimp rice she swore was her best seller, and it had made him gag. But he wasn't about to tell her that. Not when her smile hit him like sunlight every morning, whether he wanted it to or not. She shook her head, handing him the bag. Stubborn as ever. "One day, Cephas. One day, maybe." He gave her a half smile and turned away before she could press him further. The truth was, the bagel wasn't for him. It hadn't been for months. The bagel was for Faith. Inside the Gazette, the newsroom buzzed with early chatter, reporters circling editors like flies around sugar, everyone angling for assignments. John threaded through the chaos and dropped the sack onto Faith's desk. Her chair was empty. That was unusual. Faith Mack was never late. The youngest staffer on the paper's roster, she was usually bouncing at her desk before the first editors arrived. Boot heels on the chair, camera bag on the floor, fingers hammering out online columns for the Gazette's site. If she wasn't pestering someone for a photo assignment, she was already back from one, grinning and sharp-eyed. But this morning, nothing. John frowned. Then came the noise. A crash, a curse, a rising chorus of voices from the break room. He turned just in time to see Faith barrel out, eyes wide, hair wild around her face. Right behind her was Harvey Stone, built like a tank and drenched in coffee, steam rising off his shirt. "Damn it, girl," Harvey bellowed, his face beet red, his marine cadence snapping each word like rifle fire. "Are you insane?" Faith's boots squeaked against the tile as she darted past her desk, nearly colliding with John. Harvey thundered after her, cussing with a precision that came only from years of disciplined profanity. John stepped forward and planted himself between them. "All right, break it up, break it up." She, Harvey sputtered, spittle flying. "She threw coffee on me." Faith shoved the bagel into her mouth and chewed furiously, muttering something John couldn't catch. Her foot tapped under her desk in rapid staccato, nerves radiating off her small frame. John grabbed Harvey by the elbow and steered him into an empty side office, shutting the door behind them. "Talk," John said. Harvey threw up his hands. "I walk into the break room, and she's crawling up on the counter like a damn squirrel trying to reach the top shelf. I go to help, she whirls around and, bam, coffee, all over me." John raised an eyebrow. "Did you touch her?" Harvey hesitated. "Yeah, just her arm, to steady her." "Did you announce yourself first?" "No, why would I?" Harvey stopped. He caught the sharp look in John's eyes. "Ah, hell." John folded his arms. "You know what she's been through here." Everyone knew, though no one said it out loud. Faith's first year at the Gazette, the old editor-in-chief, Rico Herman, had cornered her after hours. Tried to put his hands on her. John had walked in at the right time and stopped it cold. Rico had been escorted out quietly, no scandal, no headlines. The paper wanted to bury it. John never forgot it, neither had Faith. Harvey's anger drained out of him. He shook his head and let out a rough laugh. "Well, damn, makes sense now. Kid's got more fire than I thought." "Good for her. You gonna apologize?" John asked. "Of course," Harvey said, grinning now. "But maybe not today. Don't think she'd take it." Smart man. Back at her desk, Faith was demolishing the bagel, crumbs dusting her notes. She shot John a wary glance, then a tiny smile of thanks. Her foot still bounced, jittery energy she couldn't hide. "You okay?" John asked quietly. "Peachy," she mumbled through a mouthful of bread. He let it go. Faith wasn't the type to sit still in her pain. She covered it with energy, noise, a reckless kind of bravado. Reminded him of Rock, in a way. Maybe that's why he kept looking out for her. John finally settled into his cubicle, flipping open his laptop. His inbox was a mess of pitches, spam, and half-angry reader mail, but one notification stood out, a calendar reminder. Birthday dinner. 2 days. Location. Rock's townhouse, Durham. John leaned back in his chair, a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. Their tradition. The triplets had made the vow when they were 9 years old, tired of being split between foster homes, shuffled like cards in the state's hand. No matter where we end up, we'll be together on our birthday. Every year since, they'd made it happen. A meal, a gift exchange, a tether holding them together through chaos. At first, the gifts had been nothing more than trinkets, plastic keychains, knockoff watches, dollar store treasures. As they grew older, the gifts became bigger. A competition, really. Who could outdo the others? Who could win? This year, John was sure it was him. He'd snagged an all-inclusive trip to Charlotte, hotel suites, sideline seats for the Panthers game, the whole family included, even Faith. And not just any game. The Panthers versus Dallas, Mary's favorite team. There was no way Rock or Mary could top that. Cephas. John looked up to see Joan, the Gazette's new editor-in-chief, striding across the bullpen. Joan was brisk, sharp-eyed, nothing like Rico had been. "You're up," she said, dropping a folder onto his desk. "Drug bust gone wrong in Durham. Go get me something worth the front page." John sighed. Crime wasn't his favorite beat, but the words front page had a magic of their own. He grabbed the folder and his jacket. "Faith," he called. She popped up, crumbs still clinging to her shirt, camera strap already across her shoulder. "Yes, boss? You're with me. Always." Together they headed for the door. Neither of them had any idea that the botched bust they were about to cover wasn't just another story. It was Rock's.